My name is Brialynn Massie, and you're watching the 13th Wolfman. Oh!
Hey everybody, I'm the 13th Wolfman. Welcome again to Sit Down. You know who I have with me today? I have Brialynn Massie. Yes, she's an up-and-coming actress. She's done a few things. She's actually written, directed, and produced her own web series. Welcome to Sit Down, Brialynn.
Hi! Thanks for...
You're all staring. so, so we were just talking. You're a Northwest girl. I'm from the Pacific Northwest myself, so we have a lot of stuff that we could chat about. But
Seahawks. Uh-oh.
Damn Skippy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are those teams in California?
Right. Well, they're trying to open up a coliseum down in LA. I'm like, that is the worst idea ever. As if traffic's not already bad, they'll have to shut down the whole city whenever there's a football game.
Well, they already got a coliseum down there.
Oh yeah.
And I mean they got that. They got they got the Pasadena Rose Bowl. So I mean they're used to it. They'll just have to deal with that. I mean that 9-hour drive that takes to go 5 miles is going to be 14 hours now, but they'll just have to deal with it. We
just moved to Sherman Oaks, so the traffic's pretty bad, but it's fun.
So how did you get bit by the acting bug?
Well, actually, when I was a kid, I was terrified of everything, like everything. If someone were to talk to me, I would just start crying. So they had to talk to my mom, and then I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would talk to my mom if I wanted to talk to somebody else. I couldn't look anybody in the eye. And then she started putting me into like dance classes, ballet, violin, and I used to write a lot. So just kind of slowly getting acclimated to expressing myself. Then I took an acting class, and I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. Hey, I'm safe to express myself because it's the character, it's not me. So I started learning how to, I guess, tell stories and express and have something to say too, just by existing. And up in Seattle, there's a whole lot of theater. But I kind of, I love theater and I respect theater, but I definitely felt more connected when I watched movies. I felt like, whoa, this person's feeling something and it's real, so they understand what I'm feeling. If they can do it, then I can do it. So that's kind of how I started out and got bitten.
Did you do any theater while you were up here?
Yeah, I studied obviously in high school and then Taproot Theater. And did you ever hear of PYT, the Bellevue Theater behind Crossroads?
Yes.
Yeah, so I basically grew up in that theater, and then I directed some shows, and James McLean took me on to do a mentorship, so I could direct shows and learn storytelling, essentially.
Oh, my buddy Fang would he'd be so jealous. That's what he wants. We went to high school together. We met in theater arts.
Yeah.
He was the actor. I was in theater arts because. Well, just because. I mean, there really wasn't a reason. I didn't want to be an actor. I just wanted to take a class. It was my senior year, and so I'd met this guy like 3 periods before, for the first time, and then he wound up being in this class together, and we just kind of gelled. And I always wanted to be the guy that ran the lights, ran the, I was that was it. I didn't want to be the person on the stage.
Yeah,
I wanted to be the
lights.
I wanted to be the magician behind the, I wanted to be the wizard behind the curtain,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
that's awesome.
yeah, and he's been writing plays for as long as I can remember,
Yeah.
Just never had
writing.
chance.
I love writing for theater because then I can just kind of have it be shown in 6 months. So.
Yeah. If you have someone nice enough to produce it for you, I mean.
Yeah. My high school was really supportive. If you wrote something, they would produce it and put it up for you. Or also BYT, me and a few of my friends founded the first teen program where teens would get together and write, direct, produce, do the costumes, do the makeup, lighting, do the music, everything, all by ourselves, and the theater would finance it, essentially. So it was just like all teen ran. That was fun.
Very cool. So then you moved to you're now connected to movies. And you're like, oh, I want to get into the movies. I got to go to Hollywood.
Yeah, well, I did a couple films up in Seattle, and that was fun. I felt like I needed to learn more because when you come from theater, it's so big, and I had a lot of things I wanted to say, a lot of things I wanted to express that weren't really accepted in the big theater scene. You know, I was really broody and quiet, even though I loved theater, and so that mentality or approach wasn't accepted as much as film was. So when I started breaking into film, I'm like, this is where I belong. All right. And then the opportunities, there's just not a whole lot of opportunities in Seattle to learn as much as Hollywood. And I went down to Portland first because I was too scared. I'm like, Hollywood's, 20 hours away. So I went down to Portland and I started to study Miesner training, which was exactly what I needed. What are they doing right now? How do I feel about it? What do I want to do about it? It opened my eyes to even just things in my own life on how to exist, I suppose. And then when I was done with Portland, I was only there for maybe 6 months. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to LA. Literally packed up my car that night when I made that decision. I think I'm just going to go to LA. Packed up my car, threw my cat in the back seat, and just started driving. I had no idea where I was going. So I was on Craigslist while I'm driving or like at a pit stop. Like, can I stay at this stranger's couch? I don't know. Let me stalk them, see if they're cool. And I found my couch that I would stay on. I stayed there for maybe like a month in Crenshaw. And then I was like, okay, I think I need to find my own place. So went from there.
How long until you found work, in Hollywood? Huh?
Acting work
Yeah.
out in LA? Actually, it was pretty quick. It was like a 40-hour film festival, and I was so green. I'm like, let me just be on set. Let me just see what everything is like. And so from there, I met with people, and then they invited me to come onto their set and just do like small little parts, do some extra work. I started going to classes and like really excelled. I took in as much as I could. I'm like, this is who I want to be as an actress, and this is where I am. What do I have to do to get there? And so just from word of mouth, I like casting, backstage, all these things, started getting myself out for all the studying. And it just kind of went from there of just networking and friends and people that like my work were like, hey, I saw you doing this. Can you come do this for me? So, and then of course, writing your own stuff because you don't want to wait around for somebody to give you a favor.
Yeah, let's talk about the web series.
Yeah. So the web series actually, we took it down except for the first scene because we're expanding it into a feature instead. Because the way it was written was basically a feature cut up into like 20 pieces. So I'm like, might as well make it a feature now that we know distribution a little bit better, and try to push it through that. So it's called Ruth Genesis. You can see the first scene in the trailer on YouTube, and it's RVTH, and then Genesis. And so it follows Ruth Connors, me, who attempts to take her life, and so she gets institutionalized and estranged. Her family decides, oh, she's crazy. We're just going to kind of leave her there. She'll get the help she needs while we go on with our lives, and she sits there to rot. The story begins when the government is saying, like, hey, is she going to become like a part of the state? Is the state going to own her and have custody over her? Or are you guys going to take responsibility? She's an adult now. What are you going to do? And the family is saying, you go ahead and go take her. We don't want anything to do with her anymore. But what they don't understand is that she ends up belonging to the state and has to fight her way out of hell because of her suicide attempt. She was able to connect and go from 0 to 10 in and out of this hellish, dark place. And so the government was like, oh, that's interesting. Let us go ahead and play around with that. And so while she's fighting her way out and basically fighting herself to get better, her doctors are trying to keep her there for the experiments. So it's this internal struggle.
So where does such a dark concept come from? I mean, you're from Washington. We don't have dark, brooding things up here.
Oh, never. Sunshiny. We're yuppies up in Seattle. A lot of it does come from my own internal feelings of not belonging, being outcasted, struggling with depression. I still advocate, and I go on all the walks and everything for Out of the Darkness, for suicide awareness, and especially for adolescents, young adults, and teens, because those people are often labeled as crazy, or people walk and toe around them, or, oh, they're edgy, so we need to kind of be careful about how we talk about them and how we talk to them, when really they just want to feel, we just want to feel like we exist. We are existing and we have a mark on this world, and things that we feel are real, and you will see them. So it stems from this internal struggle of needing help. And so the brother in the web series does come and try to help her after he's connecting with her. But he can't help her the entire way. She has to make that last step herself. And so it's coming to terms with that and deciding, how can I get myself out of hell when, like, I can't help other people. I can only help myself, and other people can't help me. So how do I go about doing that when everybody around me wants me to stay there because it's easier for them?
Right. No, I know about being an outcast. Like I said, when I was in high school, I was a ghost. I was the one person that I didn't care about the high school football games. I didn't care about the school dances. I was shy. I was ultra shy. I wouldn't talk to girls because I could talk to them, but I honestly couldn't ask them out, because if I did, I know that if they said no, I'd have just been crushed. Yeah. You know.
Well, I was actually in high school, I was homeless, and I had snuck into Bellevue High School, which is an honors school, and it's very, like, strict. Like, if you don't live in the district, you don't get to go. I'm graduated now, so I can't say anything.
Except for the football players that got to play on that team, even though they didn't live in the district.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was crazy there. But I was homeless, and so the children there, I guess teens, they're still children. Let's be real. They would come up to me when they're trying to make friends, like, hey, let's go to this event. Let's go to this concert. And I'm like, oh, I can't afford that. Do you guys want to go play at the park or something? They would come up to me and say, oh, well, why don't you just ask your parents for money? And I couldn't tell them, oh, because I'm living on the street, or I'm living at the shelter, or I don't know where I'm sleeping tonight. So that was a big thing, too, where the parents stepped in once that they found out. I mean, the school was great. The school and the teachers were so supportive, but the parents were so prejudiced against, like, homeless people or poor people, that they would tell their children, like, oh, she has problems. You know, she is complicated. Don't talk to her, because they thought that I was going to corrupt them or something. So I ended up having no friends besides my friends in the theater. So being an outcast, I just went to school to graduate and say I could, but I hated it.
Yep, that's me all the way. I did my 4 years. I just did my time.
Wow.
And
school was great, because they actually let me, my last 2 years of high school, because I hated it so much, they let me go to college at the same time. So I graduated with my associates and my high school diploma.
Was it actual college or community college?
It was Bellevue College was a community college that became an actual college around the time that I went. So luckily, I mean, all the classes were still community college classes, but on paper they were like a real college.
Oh yeah, no, I
got lucky, man.
I am all for community college. I mean, if that's what you can, if you want to do a higher education and you want to do it affordably, community college.
Exactly, and some of the classes were actually pretty hard, and I went to an honors high school, so that's really hard. Like, all of the classes were honors classes, and if you're a dumb kid, they'd send you to Ravenswood. Which was terrible, because that was actually the standard. Their standards were so crazy high. So
you got Ruth.
Yeah.
So I want to. This sounds like a really cool series or feature now, but it does. I like the darkness of it.
Did you watch these movies that are like, oh, we're about depression, but they don't really get it? They're just trying to capitalize on people's heartstrings or capitalize on something that's taboo. Depression isn't some glamorized, romanticized, broody thing that's happening to you. It is a dark place, and where you have to accept your shadow self. That was the first step for me to be able to get out of that, was to accept these parts that I was ashamed of, or accept these parts that people shamed me for. Like, okay, well, this is who I am, and good is not absolute good, and bad is not absolute bad. But society teaches you, like, if you don't do this, then you're a bad person.
So after Ruth, you did one of your guest spots was The Walking Dead.
Actually, The Walking Deader, I keep trying to get that off IMDb. People don't listen to me. I've called them, I've emailed them. I have people like one of my best friends is a Disney voiceover actor, and he was trying to work with IMDb. They won't take it off. And so whenever I get fan mail, I'm like, hey, The Walking Deader, it's a comedy sketch on YouTube, but it's not The Walking Dead. Someone put that on there. I don't know how to get that off.
That sucks. Okay,
well. I know, and I feel so bad because I get fans like emailing me like, hey, I love The Walking Dead. I'm like, I reply to all of them because I feel so bad. I'm like, I was not on The Walking Dead. Can you report this? Please report this.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're not the first actor or actress to come on here and say that's happened.
Yeah?
I mean, it's just recently, we've had a couple of people on say that, that was on there. I've never done that.
Yeah, and I don't know how to get it off. Like, I have friends that are celebrities that are like, hey, I got you. And they're like, for some reason, IMDb is not working with us on this. I mean, maybe eventually I'll be on it, and then they can just credit me. But until then.
No doubt. Okay, well, what else you got going on for yourself?
I just actually wrapped a feature called Serena Waits, where I play Serena. LA Horror is doing it. Hunter Johnson, he's fantastic. He's a genius. And he's such a nice guy. So we just wrapped that. I did some ADR. I think he's trying to drop a trailer for August and have it come out in June, October. But it's probably my best work ever. I am so proud of it. And the story itself, like Hunter did such a great job. Here, I'll pull up the synopsis so I don't butcher it. There we go. So the synopsis is, when an alcohol-fueled hookup takes a violent and horrifying turn, 3 college athletes find themselves haunted by the very girl they left for dead. Dun, dun, dun!
There's a few movies I could think of that, fall into this kind of category, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, controversial movies that were freaking fantastic. I love controversy. But I play Serena, and, I can't say too much because there's so many twists and turns, but she's the title character. She gets murdered. And
I kind of figured from the synopsis. It kind of reminds me of a movie called Tamara.
Tamara? Ooh,
Tamara.
What is that about?
This girl gets basically left for dead, and she's a witch.
Ooh. So
she brings herself back supernaturally, and then she gets back at everyone supernaturally. Came out around 2005.
2005. Wow, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, Serena Waits is gonna come out later this year, and it'll be interesting to see how horror people view it, because it is a horror movie. Not like there's no way around that, but it's more character driven. I want to say it's a thriller, but there are such nasty kills. It's a horror, but it's approached as if it's a thriller. So It's really interesting to see how the horror community takes it, especially because Hunter Johnson does some really awesome but gory horror movies. I think this is his best work ever.
No, yeah. Well, that's what basically, I'm a big horror fan.
Yeah.
I've been forever. And as you know, when we go on to the live show, I mean, that's where it's the Wicked Horror Show. So, I mean.
Yeah. I saw you guys interviewed Lloyd Kaufman. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, Lloyd was an interesting character. Yeah, I loved having him on. That's a bucket list one for me.
Yeah, you guys have had a lot of great people on. I'll have to get you in touch with my friend that played Leatherface.
Which one?
Dan Yeager. Oh, 3D.
Okay, so you're talking about the most recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there have been.
On one of my shorts. He's actually my boyfriend's friend, so I'm just like, hey, you want to come do something for me?
That'd be very cool. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Oh, he's so nice. He's such a great guy.
Yeah. That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
So, we got to wrap it up so we could go to the live show. And I want, if people are looking for you on the social network, where can they find you?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm more active on my Facebook. Twitter doesn't forward to my phone, probably a good thing. So I won't see anything until a couple days later. But Facebook, I get it right there, and I try to reply to everybody. It's just Brialynn Massie. So Facebook.com/Brialynn Massie. You can see all my updates. I'm starting a horror anthology. I got asked to direct, all women, a cast and crew. You can follow that coming up. I'm on Instagram. I believe it's bmasta288. So MASTA. Mostly those are pictures of my dog, but if you want to get to know me.
Okay. People love their dogs. Well, I want to thank you for coming on Sit Down.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime. And for Brialynn Massie, I'm the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.